you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices. Who are you worried about? I'll tell you who I'm worried about. I'm worried about the fact that our workers are seeing a decline in their standard of living. They want to see our industry be rebuilt. That's what they want to see. No more B-2 bombers, no more Star Wars. Let's make the quality products we need. Let's invest in American industry. No, I won't yield.
Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? Yes, sir. And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? Yes, sir. And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat. 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 Extra sharp, that's what I eat. I eat extra sharp, extra sharp, that's what I eat. I eat extra sharp, extra sharp, 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 I eat extra sharp, shop, extra shop. I eat extra 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 shop. That's what I eat. I eat extra shop, extra shop. I eat extra shop, extra shop. That's what I eat. Extra shop. That's what I eat. Extra shop. That's what I eat.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles. So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get this sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy. Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
I admit to always improving.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the goddamn, also known as the motherfuck. I am your host, the bitch-ass bitch, and I'm here and ready to do something. I'm going to do a show of some sort. It's a show. I do it every day, actually. Every single goddamn day I do this fucking show. It's like I'm in a time loop. It's like I'm in a goddamn time loop. What time is it? Time to do the show. I'm in a goddamn time loop, folks. Everything is going wrong. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. Max is a floor dog today. Oh, he's saying hello. Max! Max! You want to come up, bud? Max is a floor dog. He's about to be a bed dog. Bed dog. Look, this is Max. He's my dog friend. He's my dog friend. Oh. Oh. He's my dog friend. So I would like to start the show off by saying thank you to everyone who watched my Dark Souls playthrough yesterday evening. I am sad to report that I have woken up with no hangover, so that's a goddamn shame. But maybe one day, maybe today. Tonight I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 4 on the goddamn personal computer. So, can I review my Seinfeld Lego? I have to finish it. I haven't finished it. I know, right? That's oof. Ugh. God. Fuck. Ooh. Whoop-a-doop-a-doo-da. Too drunk to play soon. We're on day 4 of my bender. Bending it up, folks. Yeah, we got some dumb fuck motherfuckers leaving me comments. Alright, God, where the hell do we even start? Rari 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. Same. Reminder, folks, I am the former world record holder for Resident Evil 4. Once upon a time, I used to be the best player in the history of the world. That said, I am no longer the best player. Not even close, folks. But at some point in human history, you're typing to the bitch who is the best goddamn player in the history of the fucking world. Though, not anymore. Can you hear Max? He's lapping up some water. Can you hear that? Look at that dog. He's a thirsty dog. Look at him. He's lapping up some water. Can you hear it? Oh, he ran out. Max, do you need more? He'll be fine. All right, folks. Yesterday was day 169 of protests in the city of Elizabeth City and the county of Pasquotank County over the police assassination of Andrew Brown Jr. that took place on April 21st, 2021. We have been holding daily demonstrations for 169 days consecutively without missing a single day. And, the community has come together, to say loudly and to say very clearly that it is not acceptable, actually, to murder and assassinate an American citizen. Again, violating his constitutional rights, such as the 8th Amendment, protection from unusual, cruel and unusual punishment, that I would say getting shot in the back of the head while you are attempting to run away from a hit squad. I would say that classifies as both cruel and most certainly unusual. I would say that shooting into a house of someone who did not violate any laws whatsoever, that sounds cruel and unusual as well. I would say shooting in a school zone, right, where the elementary school is just not even a couple blocks, but just literally on the same street. I would say that is also cruel and unusual. Andrew Brown Jr.'s right to a speedy trial was also violated. But that, it's the thing here about this that I have learned after the last 169 days. Now, there's been a story that came out over the last week that said that 30,000 people have been killed by police, and that's just an estimate right now. People are always finding new killings of innocent, unarmed civilians by police, as well as just generally people get killed a lot by police because police are out of control. But I have learned over the last 169 days that one of the main reasons why police kill so many people is because, frankly, not enough people give a shit. No one really gives a fuck if their neighbor is shot and killed by the cops. No one really gives a fuck if it's someone down the street. No one really cares. At the end of the day, people are being oppressed in this country, and the majority does not care at all. Like, we live in this situation where I live in a southern town here, so the population is pretty split down the middle on a lot of issues. The 2020 election was like 51-49, I think, for Joe Biden in Pasquotank County, if I remember correctly. And so the black and white populations are like, I think it's like 46 to 50 something. So like, we have like the Republican to Democrat is like 50-50. So this is a very like evenly split location. And so I've noticed that there's so many people that just frankly do not give a fuck about police violence. They do not give a fuck about the pandemic. They do not give a fuck about all these extremely important issues. And I think really that is what boils down to why police feel that they can kill people, right? Because look at what happened. Let's look at the cover up here, right? Andrew Brown Jr. was assassinated. There is a pickup truck with 7 Klansmen with machine guns on the back of the pickup truck. They went in and assassinated him. Now, there's lots of theories as to why he was assassinated. I don't want to necessarily say them on stream, but there are many theories, some of which boil down to personal, petty vengeance on the behalf of the sheriff deputies, but I will get into that at a later point. But either way, they assassinated him. I believe Andrew Womble said that they could not let him get away. A search warrant, not an arrest warrant. The warrant was to search his premises. He doesn't even need to be there. Right? But either way, his rights were violated. And so what happened afterward? Well, the sheriffs decided, oh, I can't release the tape. I will send it to the district attorney, who says I can't release the tape. Then the SBI, who said, wait, I have nothing to do with this. This is purely the sheriff could release it whenever they want. But the sheriff of Pasquotank County, Tommy Wooten, continuously denies that he has any legal authority to release the body camera footage. Right? Though, did he have legal authority to murder Andrew Brown Jr.? No. So when it comes to violating the law, it's okay to kill someone. That's fine. But copy and pasting a video file onto YouTube, that's too far? You can kill someone, you can end a human being's life. That's great. Fine. Whatever. But copy and pasting a video file, that's somehow so far out of the bounds of respectability and civility. It's just not doable. Tommy Wooten did not meet with any members of the community at all besides white evangelical churches. He did many events for white evangelical churches in the area, but the first time he met with any community members in regards to the shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. was about a month ago. He spent the first 3.5 to 4 months hiding. Andrew Womble released certain snippets of the tape, deceptively edited them, and then released them to the public after weeks and weeks of propagandizing people, saying, oh, it was justified because he ran into the cops. Justified, justified, justified. So all the racists, all the police bootlicking scumbags spent weeks hearing that it was justified, and then the Rorschach test of the video clips that were deceptively edited by the district attorney's office were released, and they saw what they wanted to see. Why don't they release the full tape? Because the full tape would show that what was described by Andrew Womble did not happen. This was called a successful cover-up, right? They spent weeks propagandizing the audience, telling people what they were going to see, and then showed only specific segments, deceptively edited, so that people who were primed already to believe a certain way would believe that way. People are stupid, and this is what really boils down to, especially when it comes to Republicans. They are stupid. They don't have critical thinking skills. They cannot think for themselves. So they need Dear Daddy Leader, whoever that is, Donald Trump, the sheriff of their county, the district attorney, whoever it is, Daddy Leader needs to tell them how to think, because they cannot and will not think on their own. And that is one of the problems when it comes to police violence, police brutality. Look at things like civil asset forfeiture, where they just steal people's property. People get away with that. The police get away with that because no one cares. No one gives a fuck. And they think, oh, the police are authority, right? Therefore, I gotta listen to them, because that's where their brain stops processing new information. They cannot and will not even entertain the possibility that those in power could be wrong. And that's the problem here, is that no one gives a fuck. National news media came by when the riot was declared. Yeah, that's right. Remember the riot cops? Right? The entire city, not county, I want to be very clear, city government declared a state of emergency and spent $500,000 not on building a homeless shelter, not on, maybe giving people furlough payments for maybe a lockdown so that the pandemic could stop, not on maybe fixing the energy crisis in Elizabeth City, not on fixing the potholes. They spent $500,000 busing in riot cops from 400 miles away under the false state of emergency. The city government, the mayor of Elizabeth City, not the county government, The mayor and the city council and the police chief all corrupted and conspired to try to get outside agitators bust into the city to kill their own civilians, to kill their own population. These outside riot cops used live weapons. They unholstered and pointed real, less lethal, not rubber bullets, real handguns were pointed at protesters by unstable outside agitators who were bussed in with the intent to kill. Luckily, no one was killed by these cops, but it very well could have gotten to that point. And who would have been to blame? Mayor Betty Parker and the entire city council. The Elizabeth City Police would have been to blame for that. Many elderly people were bullied, beaten by these riot cops, right? Dislocated shoulders, illegally arrested by these riot police, right? And then no one cares. No one cares. No one gives a shit. No one fucking cares. And then after that, the national media was like, well, I guess no one's going to riot, so let's just ignore the story. When have you read a single national news article on the killing of Andrew Brown Jr. in the last 100 days? Does anyone know? Has CNN posted anything about it? What about the New York Times? Did they all just say, whatever? A successful cover-up took place in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And it's disgusting to witness this. I mean, it really is. It's disgusting to witness. A successful cover-up? Not on my watch, motherfucker. Not on my watch. Is there an action you guys could do to draw media attention to the unresolved nature of the case? Anastasia, now I'm speaking to you right now as a public persona and not as a private citizen, so factor that in. I am speaking on my live show as someone who does a live show, as someone who is being recorded and live streamed on the internet, and not as a private citizen in the same room as you with no recording devices, so please factor that in. Yes, there are actions that we could do to draw media attention, but the people of Elizabeth City are not willing to do that. At least as of this current moment in time. Most of the people that are continuing to participate in demonstrations are either elders or like actual children. We do not have enough people that are of my age range and physical capabilities in order to pull anything off in that capacity. Though, yeah, so that's my answer to that question. But are there theoretically things that could be done to bring national media attention back? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think Elizabeth City is going to do that. Max is woofing it up in the background. Folks, did y'all see that scoop at the Zodiac? Extremely good stuff. Are council elections coming up? Maybe they would need to. The gerrymandering of Pasquotank County is such that they would need to consistently run candidates aggressively for at least 10 years because the census and gerrymandering is already in place, so they would need to do at least 10 years of consistent pressure. So, I mean, I hope people are willing to do that, but I'm not sure. I heard about that, Scorp, yeah. But yeah, so the gerrymandering that's going to happen is already happening. So it's going to take at least 10 years. So you need to get at least a somewhat slim majority on the Pasquotank County Commissioner Board. And then during the next census, you could ungerrymander things, or even just gerrymander things in favor of Democrats, which is what I would prefer in this institution. Because as of right now, the city basically has no power. In a lot of these instances. So Nat, you'll be happy to know no hangovers detected. All right, folks, let's get into the goddamn, shall we? Alright, so this is a really good scoop that I enjoy. I enjoy scoops of this nature. It's a good scoop. It's a great scoop, some would say. I do not know the full scoop. Mr. Freak, I wasn't there. Alright. So, Bernard, folks. Bernard goddamn Sander.
You know, I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Bernard Sander, folks. Senator Bernard Sander, withheld support for a joint statement condemning last weekend's protests against Senator Kyrsten Sinema because it wouldn't include a rebuke of her political views, Axios has learned. So again, we need to talk about the bathroom protest. If you were against the bathroom protest of Kyrsten Sinema, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I have no time for you. I don't care about your argument. I don't care about, I don't care about anything you have to say. You are dumb. You are in the way of progress, and you need to get your shit together or get out of the goddamn game because you're a fucking embarrassment. If you thought, going into the bathroom, the protest is too far, go fuck yourself, bitch. Go fuck yourself, okay? You're defending a goddamn centrist Democrat who is really one of the two only people in the way of the president's agenda. I'm sorry. I have nothing. I don't care at all about your nuance. To me, it's just such a goddamn fucking embarrassment to even listen to people who have that opinion. But Bernard Sanders on my side, so let's get this shit. Why it matters, the move is emblematic of the hostility between the progressive and moderate members. No, the moderate members are Joe Biden. $3.5 trillion, that's the moderate position. Progressives wanted $6 trillion. The conservatives wanted $1 trillion. The moderates met in the middle. Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin are not moderates. They are conservatives. They're the Republican Democrats. Axios, you dumb fuck motherfucker. Who wrote this article? Elena Treen, dumb fuck motherfucker in chief, who have been sparring over the cost and scope of President Biden's agenda. Sanders wanted the statement to urge Sinema to drop her opposition to prescription drug reform, as well as Biden's $3.5 trillion social safety net expansion. Driving the news, an email exchange between Senate Democratic leadership aides obtained by Axios reveals Sanders withheld his name from a joint statement declaring protesters who followed Sinema into a bathroom and filmed her while using the restroom as plainly inappropriate and unacceptable. They did not film her using the restroom. There was a stall. They didn't, put the camera over the stall and... No, she was not filmed using the restroom, you stupid bitch. Get your shit together. Sanders Communications Director Mike Casca asked the statement be edited to include the preface, while we hope Senator Sinema will change her position on prescription, blah, blah, blah. An aide to Senator Cory Booker, who organized the statement, said Booker would not accept the edits. Cory Booker is a wolf in sheep's clothing. The guy's a dumb bitch motherfucker. Why wouldn't Cory Booker want Sinema to agree with the president's agenda? Because he also doesn't want to vote for it. He just doesn't want to be public about it. Booker is a bitch. A beta male bitch. Casca later replied, Sanders will not be signing, so please cut Senate Democratic leadership team from the headline. Really good stuff. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, D, said sends Dick Durbin, D, ill, and Mark Warner, D, va, Elizabeth Warren, D, mass, Joe, blah, blah, blah. All signed on to the statement in addition to Booker. Elizabeth Warren is garbage, folks. How many times do I need to fucking tell you she's garbage? Excerpts of the leaked exchange are shown below. Axios has confirmed the contents of the full exchange with other Senate offices. Casca, Sanders' communication director, declined to comment. Sinema's spokesman also declined to comment. So as you can see here, the emails. So there you go. Pretty good stuff. I just have to say, Bernard is really good at this. Like, I mean, I'm really happy watching Bernard do all this. I mean, again, like, there's a lot of people who just tune out of politics and hate Bernie because they're stupid. I'm talking to the People's Party. But this whole thing is just really good to see. I mean, like, I'm super into, like, the nitty-gritty, like, just, like, the petulance aspect of all this. Because I think a lot of politics is petulance. But yeah, also, again, the other factor about this is, again, on Monday, Biden told reporters he didn't think the protest tactics were appropriate, then added, but it happens to everybody. I loved it. The only people it doesn't happen to are people who have Secret Service around them, so it's part of the process. Biden! Why is Elizabeth Warren going against the president? Why is Elizabeth Warren disagreeing with the president's agenda? They're all corrupt. There's only a couple motherfuckers in Congress that aren't corrupt, and Bernard is one of them. The rest of them are two-faced, lying snakes. Why is Cory Booker defending Sinema? Doesn't he support the president's agenda? No, of course not. Beta male Cory Booker takes so much money from pharmaceutical companies. It'll make your head spin. He doesn't want this legislation passed. He wants to kill it. He wants to sink it. But he wants to do it from behind the scenes. And this is one of the ways that he does that. These people are fucking embarrassing. They're fucking embarrassing. And y'all need to realize that shit. Coincidence? Oh my god. More analysis in that segment than Jimmy Dore has in a month span. Folks, we have 40 viewers here at 10:30 a.m. Is the viewership going back up? When am I getting 100 again, you goddamn bitches? If everyone in this stream just said, hey, Mom, come watch my live stream, I'd have 80 viewers. What, is your mom not going to do it? Hello? My mom's dead. I can't ask my mom for anything. So you got to do me a favor. Get your mom in the stream. Let's double that viewer count. You tell your mom every day. That's amazing. All right. My mom would not watch this. Well, yeah, your mom's a fucking loser. My mom's dead too. I'm sorry to hear that. My parents aren't watching anything at 3 a.m. I'm sorry to hear that. She only picks up the swear words. I mean, that's like 50% of the stream, though. You told your daughter? All right, thank you. My mom's a MAGA freedom fighter. She can't concentrate on anything but freedom fighting. Oof. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's worse than your mom being dead, to be honest. All right, folks. This article is from a couple weeks ago, but I want to read it because of some other stuff I'm going to be talking about today. We got a theme going. Deputies escape charges in a killing Trump touted as retribution. Do you remember last year? Does anyone remember last year? 2020, it was a hell of a year, let me tell you. Well, a little tidbit of 2020 was Donald Trump going on national television and ordering an execution of an American citizen. Then it was found out that that citizen was executed. They lied about why he was executed. They claimed he had shot at them. They claimed that he brandished a weapon. Though no weapon was found at the scene, the deputies that executed Michael Rhino all had conflicting stories. They didn't huddle in a circle and get their facts together, what their alternative facts were. So they all gave everyone different stories. Investigators found that there was a gun at the scene, but it had not fired anything. Investigators found that there was no way that Michael Rhino was a threat, given how his body was shot at. Witnesses, several witnesses, including a member of a religious thing, I forget, said that they rolled up and killed him before he even knew what was going on. And yet, no charges. Donald Trump then went on television and said, this is the way it has to be, and praised these deputies for assassinating unconstitutionally an American citizen. And now they're getting away scot-free. No charges, baby. Bomb, bomb, bomb. That's right. A Washington state prosecutor has found no crime, but much to criticize in the September 2020 law enforcement raid that killed the anti-fascist activist Michael Forrest Rhino in a hail of bullets. Rhino was a murder suspect wanted for the shooting death of right-wing agitator Aaron J. Danielson in the streets of Portland in late August 2020. In a 24-page report, prosecuting attorney John Tunheim of Thurston County concludes that although Rhino never drew a weapon on the U.S. Marshal Task Force that came to arrest him, his killing was justified under Washington state law. How? How is it justified? Yet, even as he absolved the shooters of criminal liability, the prosecutor called for further scrutiny of a confrontation that was marred by miscommunication and ad hoc decision-making and put innocent parties in danger. I feel compelled, Tunheim writes, to say how fortunate it was that no bystanders were injured or killed. Yet you're not going to charge them with, wanton endangerment? Reminder, let's look at the case of Breonna Taylor in Kentucky. If I remember correctly, there were 3 cops. 2 of them successfully shot and killed Breonna Taylor. Their assassination plan and mission was a success. They assassinated an American citizen for no reason unconstitutionally. Her name was Breonna Taylor. One of the cops fucked up. He failed to assassinate Breonna Taylor. He shot, and the shot went through the wall into a neighboring apartment. Then he got charged with wanton endangerment. That's right. The cop who did not shoot Breonna Taylor was the one that got charged. The 2 cops that successfully assassinated an American citizen that had committed no crime, they walked off scot-free. What? You might be thinking, what? What? So, right, you kill an innocent American civilian for no reason, you're good. You fail to kill that innocent civilian, then you get charged. Why doesn't that same logic apply here? Isn't Washington a progressive state? People keep telling me that. Doesn't seem like it. The killing of Rhino by law enforcement sparked controversy from the start. An initial statement by the U.S. Marshals insisted its task force members had attempted to peacefully arrest Rhino and only fired on him after he produced a firearm threatening the lives of law enforcement officers. An eyewitness soon contradicted the account, however, describing a sudden and violent ambush by officers who never attempted to apprehend Rhino, but rather opened fire on him without warning. In my opinion, if an officer lies in their police report, they should immediately be sent to jail. It doesn't matter. All the other details don't matter to me. If they say that they were fearing for their safety because Michael had a gun pointed at them, and it turned out that he was shot in the back before he even knew what was going on. You lied. You cannot be trusted. Turn in your badge, go to jail. Do not pass go, go to jail. I'm sorry. You are issued a weapon and a certificate to murder for sport by the U.S. government. If you abuse that in any capacity, you should be fired instantly and face a mandatory jail sentence. I'm sorry. You lied. The U.S. government gave you a gun, you killed someone and lied about it. I don't need to know anything else about the case. I need to know nothing else. All I need to know, oh, they lied? All right, throw them in the fucking brig. The Trump administration, for its part, proudly politicized Rhino's death, touting the killing of the self-proclaimed anti-fascists in terms that marked an erosion of the rule of law. First Attorney General Bill Barr lauded the takedown of an admitted Antifa member, by the way. President Trump then celebrated Rhino's death as an official act of revenge, insisting there has to be retribution when you have crime like this. What? So you can read the rest of this article. It goes into very extensive detail about how all the stories are conflicting. Again, all the different U.S. Marshals gave different reports. They didn't get their story straight. The eyewitnesses contradict every single report that all of the U.S. Marshals gave. The president went up there, said it was an assassination, said it was retribution. He ordered the assassination on television. A couple days later, he praised them for assassinating someone. And the bitch-ass prosecutor, loser, dumb fuck motherfucker, is too much of a pussy beta male bitch to do anything about it. Oh, much to criticize. Yeah, your criticism doesn't fucking mean anything. Do your goddamn job or shut the fuck up and resign. That's all I have to say. But now you can disagree with what Michael Rhino did in Portland when it came to shooting and killing someone. There are very little details on what actually happened that night, and something that would have been nice to have an investigation about. But instead of investigating that night in Portland, they decided to assassinate him. So now we'll never know if that shooting was justified. But what we do know is that the assassination of Michael Rhino was not justified. And the bitch-ass prosecutor is too much of a goddamn coward to do anything about it. And now we have more murderers and liars working for the United States government. By the way, Biden is tripling police funding in his budget resolution. So that's great. That's wonderful. Kill people, get a raise. That's the way of the police in America. My thing is, I don't give a shit if Michael Rhino killed that right-wing loser in Portland and it was like the most unjustified way possible. I don't give a shit. We'll never know. It doesn't matter. Because we'll never know. Because there is no investigation. Because the government just assassinated him. So we don't know. It doesn't matter. Shit's ridiculous. All right. Attorney for man cleared of returning fire in self-defense at Minneapolis police during riots. Riots, by the way. The only rioters in Minneapolis in 2020 were the thugs and gangsters with weapons of war in decked out metal uniforms. Those are the only rioters. Ones marching around like in The Purge in unmarked vans with guns. Those are rioters. Releases evidence. Body camera footage. Jaleel Stallings was acquitted of 8 counts in connection with the incident. The attorney for a man found not guilty on all charges of shooting at Minneapolis police officers during the unrest that followed George Floyd's killings last year has released evidence in connection with the incident, including body camera footage that shows he returned fire at police in self-defense before he surrendered and was assaulted by officers while on the ground. Here's a good question. Are the officers going to face any charges? Following a trial in July, a Hennepin County jury acquitted Jaleel K. Stallings of 29 of 8 counts, including second-degree attempted murder, first-degree assault, second-degree assault, second-degree riot, regarding the May 30th, 2020 incident 5 days after Floyd's death. According to the charges, police in an unmarked van patrolling the area of 15th Avenue S and Lake Street fired 40-millimeter marking rounds, commonly known as rubber bullets, at Stallings, and he returned fire with a handgun before his arrest. Now, we can look at the footage here in this Twitter thread. This is what happened last year. Again, you do not live in a free country. This is a fascist country. Doesn't matter if Joe Biden is president. I'm sorry. It doesn't. Joe Biden tripled police funding. After last year, Joe Biden looked at the situation that we're in and said, all right, 3x. This is literally The Purge. You ever see The Purge movies? This is literally what they're doing. They're in riot cop uniforms with fucking gas masks on, and their faces are covered up, their patches are covered up, in unmarked vehicles shooting at American civilians. If someone in an unmarked van is trying to kill you and you have a gun on you and you fire in self-defense, I'm sorry, but it's a shame that you missed.
Go home.
Every single one of these so-called police officers are Nazis, folks. This is the modern Gestapo. I need y'all to understand. At a moment's notice, the United States government can declare a riot and send in literal Nazi soldiers to assassinate you with no questions asked. And I witnessed this firsthand in Elizabeth City. Again, a small town of 18,000 people. The entire local government, corrupt to the core, right, voted to do a state of emergency when there was no emergency as an excuse to bust in riot cops. And they used live weapons. They patrolled the streets in unmarked cars. I had to hide in bushes in Elizabeth City, a town that has had 169 days of continuous demonstrations, no broken windows, no rioting, and no looting, and they still use the same playbook. I had to hide behind dumpsters and hide in bushes in Elizabeth motherfucking City during the Andrew Brown Jr. protests, right? Now imagine what would have happened if there were broken windows. Then we look at Minneapolis. A full-scale military occupation took place in Minneapolis last year. Does anyone give a fuck? Does anyone care that there was a military occupation by far-right extremists in Minneapolis? Does anyone give a shit? This is unacceptable, folks. Joe Biden got elected and then tripled their funding, by the way. How cool is that? How fucking cool is that? Anyway, you can look at more of this, if you want. So, this clip, though, I mean, look at these. Like, these people literally think that they're playing video games.
What the fuck are we gonna do to you? We're out here peacefully protesting. This is fucking America. We can say what we want. What the fuck is your problem?
They are shooting these guns for fun. It is entirely unnecessary. They just enjoy it. They think it's fun. Any excuse for them to shoot at American civilians? Look, there's no threat to this guy. And yet, he is shooting several rounds. There is no threat. People are literally dozens of feet away from him. Look at this. Look. They think it's a video game, folks. It's a game to them. You have no rights. There is no freedom in America. You think there's freedom? You think there's a First Amendment? What?
Yeah. They can't go anywhere.
Well, hold on a second. Let me check your credentials, make a few phone calls just to verify who the fuck.
They think they can do whatever they want. They have a little band.
It's a fucking curfew.
They're everywhere.
When shit hit the fan in Minneapolis, all laws were suspended. There was no accountability. Police had free reign to do whatever they fucking wanted. They had all the guns in the world. They had all the chemical weapons in the world. They had free reign to do whatever they wanted. They could kill whoever they wanted, and they did. They killed journalists. They could maim whoever they wanted. They did. Several protesters. Some people lost eyeballs. Some people lost use of their legs. Some people got organ failure and damage from internal bleeding from these rubber bullets. They could do whatever they wanted. They had free reign. They treated the United States of America like a video game. These are Nazis. And yet, they all still work for the police. They are all still officers of the law. There's no accountability here. There will never be any accountability. A so-called Democratic president tripled their funding. They witnessed what we all witnessed and said, let's give them more money for a job well done.
I mean, over in St. Paul, they were right up.
Yes, sir. We're in the process of that here.
We gave a few of them to them tonight.
I'll take you off. We'll fucking flank them. We'll flank them.
We just want to wait until we got resources to make it. I mean, I got no problem with that. I'd love to scatter them, but it's time to fucking put 100 people in jail.
Yeah.
And just prove the mayor wrong about his white supremacists from out of state.
I agree.
Although this group probably is predominantly white.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because he's not looting and fighting.
5-6 of the people said they're from Minneapolis and they're all white.
This group is predominantly white because they're not looting. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This group is predominantly white. What is your reason for thinking that? Oh, because they're not looting. The mayor called us white supremacists. We're not white supremacists. Look, it's a group of white people. Well, we can't see their skin color, but they're not looting, so they have to be white. Why did the mayor call us white supremacists? By the way, the mayor of Minneapolis is a bitch boy motherfucker, but... Oh, we're not white supremacists. It's just that you can tell they're not black because they're not breaking windows. Ha 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 ha.
White.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because he's not looting and fighting.
5-6 of the people said they're from Minneapolis and they're all white.
Yep.
There is a march, about 150 to 200 people in it. They're currently eastbound on Lake.
That was a busy night.
It's nice to hear that we've moved to tonight. It was just nice to hear. We're gonna go find some more people instead of chasing people around.
Yeah.
We're going to. You guys.
You can go watch all the body camera footage if you want. You don't have any rights. There is no constitution. There's nothing. Nothing. Nothing protects you. The Constitution is fake. Rights are fake. The government is fake. It's all people that made it up to put themselves in power so that they could abuse and oppress you. It doesn't matter. You have no rights. First Amendment? What? The right to peacefully assemble? Are you kidding? Is this a fucking joke? Do you seriously think you have First Amendment rights in the United States? How fucking dumb do you think I am if you think You're gonna tell me that you have a right to peacefully protest? No, you don't. The government can suspend your rights at any point and kill you for fun? Turning my air conditioner on, folks. Whew. My supervisor just recommended everyone watch the new Chappelle, You Should Quit. Yesterday, Matt was like, I work for a good company. Today, my supervisor hates transgender people. How it started, how it's going. Y'all are gonna get a kick out of this. Hunting laws allowed Kyle Rittenhouse to carry weapon during fatal shootings in Wisconsin, lawyers say. Prosecutor Thomas Binger dismissed the defense argument, saying Rittenhouse's attorneys should tell the jury he was hunting on the streets in Kenosha. That's a good response. But either way, this is what they're seriously trying to say. They're actually doing this. Like, this is like they genuinely thought, yeah, this will go over well. Yeah, they'll buy this. Attorneys for Kyle Rittenhouse, who was charged with fatally shooting 2 people during a protest in Wisconsin last year, argued that hunting laws allowed him to carry the assault-styled weapon used during the shootings. Wisconsin law prohibits anyone under the age of 18 from being armed, but Rittenhouse's attorneys argued that the state laws only forbid minors to carry short-barreled rifles and shotguns. The other prohibitions pertaining to children fall under hunting laws, which say children under the age of 12 can't hunt with guns, Rittenhouse's attorneys said at a hearing Tuesday. Rittenhouse of Antioch, Illinois, was 17 on August 25th, 2020. When he fatally shot 2 men and wounded another man while carrying an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle at a protest prompted by police shooting of a black man, prosecutors have said. There appears to be an exception for 17-year-olds, defense attorney Corey blah 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 said that blah blah blah. Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger responded that if the defense wants to tell a jury that Rittenhouse was only hunting, it should do so. They can submit evidence that the defendant had a certificate to hunt and he was engaged in legal hunting on the streets of Kenosha that night, Binger said, according to the newspaper. Again, call their bluff. Like, yeah, he was hunting in the middle of the street. Just so happened to be during a Black Lives Matter protest that he was hunting in the middle of the street. Yeah, okay, tell the jury that one. I'd love to hear it. Rittenhouse is charged with homicide, attempted homicide, and being a minor in possession of a firearm. Yeah, so you can read the rest of this if you want. But again, they're seriously going to try this one. Like, that's how stupid they are. That's how stupid they are, folks. What the fuck? They're dumb as hell. They are dumb as fuck, folks. Dumb as fuck? I don't know what to tell you. Jimmy Bones, one more one of those comments and you're going to get banned. So you're treading on very, 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 very thin ice right now. Most of the looters on YouTube were of color. A few whites, not many. Have you considered, maybe, that when you watch, like, I don't know, Andy No videos or right-wing Tim Pool videos, that maybe, just maybe, they are selecting just the videos that are just of the black people doing bad things? Bad things, quote-unquote. Looting is not a crime, in my estimation, because in my estimation, it's wealth redistribution, but that's an argument for another one. Maybe, just maybe, you have no fucking idea what the fuck you're talking about, and you didn't look into anything, and now you're just, oh yeah, it's only the blacks that loot. Oh yes, the blacks that are the looters. Go fuck yourself, bitch. Get the fuck out of my goddamn stream if you're gonna go on that white supremacist garbage. Alright, folks. Let's get into some fun. I've been talking about how we're basically under the Fourth Reich for the last hour. So let's get into some fun stuff. Alright. So, folks, there's a scandal brewing. There's a lot going on. And so, Rashida Tlaib, now again, this is huge, was caught on a hot mic. Listen.
Thank you so much for coming out again. Appreciate it. Grady's been out at all of our community meetings. Yeah, it's great. Oh, my bad again. Sorry.
Oh, no, not you.
Oh, I thought you were like, oh, wait, he's the one unmasked guy.
Because I got a Republican tracker.
Oh, gotcha. Well, thank you for coming out.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Rashida Tlaib said she's only wearing the mask because Republicans are here. Exposed! Exposed, folks. Whatever happened to Republicans being the party of people being allowed to make jokes? Like, whatever happened to that? Right? Like, the party that said, oh yeah, Democrats are all snowflakes, cancel culture, they're snowflake whiny babies. Now they can't take a joke? You're not allowed to joke around Republicans anymore? Everything is super serious at all times. Whoa! Whoa! It's a fucking joke! Get over yourself. But this is a huge scandal. It's all over Twitter this morning. This got like 20,000 tweets trending as of this morning. I don't know what it is now. Republicans are like, aha! I found a hypocrite. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Aha! It's a goddamn joke, motherfucker. Get over yourself, you stupid little whiny bitch boy beta male. How dare Rashida Tlaib make a joke at your expense? She knows you're stupid. She made you look stupid. And now her joke is I would have never seen this if it weren't for your stupidity. And now I saw this and I'm saying amazing. Based Rashida Tlaib. Really getting them. What a bunch of fucking crybaby losers. Jimmy Bones, you're a fucking moron if you think black people are the only ones that were participating in looting during the summer of 2020. You are a fucking dipshit cocksucker motherfucker, and I am very close to banning you for the rest of your time in the stream. If you are actually believing something that stupid, then you must be a dipshit cocksucker motherfucker who is probably not gonna learn much from this stream, and therefore I suggest you go troll somewhere else. Now, if you want to say that looting is good, or if you want to say that, like, I don't necessarily disagree with looting, but it seems to me that maybe 51% of the looters were somehow people with dark skin, maybe that's not racist. But when you come in here and say, yep, it's the blacks that are looting, it's the blacks, yeah, then I'm sorry, you're a fucking moron. You're a fucking moron? I'm sorry, you're just stupid. You're just dumb. 1, there is no such thing as looting. I'm sorry, it just doesn't exist. Oh, Oh no, a black person stole sneakers from Target, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Oh no. Oh no, how dare a black person steal an iPod? Oh no. I watched the same fucking streams you watched. I saw white people, I saw black people, all in Target, all in those stores, and guess what? I don't give a shit. But not only one, are you saying looting is a bad thing, which makes you look like a fucking out-of-touch, wealthy fucking moron. Two, now you're trying to say it's only the black people that were looting? Go fuck yourself. First of all, I don't even care if it was the only black people that were looting. I don't give a shit. Have at it. Go for it. But the fact that I know that you're lying because I watched the same live streams you did makes you a fucking moron. So I banned you temporarily. Think about your actions a little bit. Think about how stupid you are. And then try again. Oh no! Someone stole a TV from Target! Oh my god! What is the multi-billion-dollar company with insurance gonna do when that television that was constructed by slaves overseas, that was manufactured for maybe $10 and sold for $1,000 because of these multi-billion-dollar companies with insurance, so they're not even going to have to pay for it anyway, are upmarking everything so that they can make significant amounts of profits and then use those profits to lobby Congress so that they can get tax cuts so that they can make even more money. Oh no! What are they gonna do that the television's been looted? The humanity. Go fuck yourself. You are so goddamn stupid. I'm sorry. You are so fucking dumb. Alright, folks. I saw this one this morning. Man accused of killing 3. Wanted to confront pharmacist brother over COVID vaccines. A Maryland man accused of killing his pharmacist brother and 2 other people had complained that he falsely believed his brother was harming people with the COVID-19 vaccines, court documents say. So, okay. My brother is killing people. I know, let's kill other random people. To stop my brother from killing people, I'm going to kill random bystanders. What? The man, Jeffrey Burnham, 46, was arrested Friday in the killings of his brother, his sister-in-law, and another woman who were slain in 2 communities more than 100 miles apart, police said. Brian Robinette, 58, and Kelly Sue Robinette, 57, were found fatally shot last Thursday in their home in Ellicott City, near Baltimore, police said. Rebecca Reynolds, 83, had been found dead that night before in Cumberland, and her car was stolen, police have said. Burnham, who lives in Cumberland, was arrested Friday in West Virginia. He faces multiple counts of murder and is being held without bail in Allegheny County, where Cumberland is, records show. Online court records did not appear to list an attorney for him Wednesday night. Charging documents filed in court do not spell out a suspected motive in the killing. They say that Burnham's mother told police that he said he wanted to confront his pharmacist brother about his false belief that the government is poisoning people with the COVID-19 vaccines, and that Burnham had said Brian knows something. Burnham's mother had called the police and said her son was saying the FBI was after them, which made her worry about his mental stability, the document said. Burnham is alleged to have taken his brother's Corvette and stopped at someone's home asking for gas after the killings. He said that the person would see him on TV and that his brother was killing people with the COVID shot. Thanks a lot, Trump. The entire Republican Party, folks. This is what they've done. This is what they've done? I'm trying to think of some But I can't. I can't think of any commentary for this one. If you've been paying attention to the world around us, then you know who's at fault here. You know why this is happening. You know what kind of people are engaging in this kind of stuff. Jesus Christ. It's all falling apart, folks. It's all falling apart. But let's have some fun with anti-vaxxer morons, shall we? So here is a clip from a anti-vaxxer march in Hollywood. Let's watch.
Yeah. Do you see all these homeless people around? Are they dead in the streets with COVID? Hell no. Why? Where are the biohazard bins for these?
Did you hear that? Okay, so there's an anti-vaxxer march in Hollywood, and they're all screaming, "Look, there's homeless people! Therefore, COVID must be fake." And what does a homeless person respond with? "It's because I'm vaccinated, you dumb fuck." And watch how they just ignore it. They're just like, let me just keep talking. Let me just keep talking.
COVID, hell no. Why? Where are the biohazard bins for these masks? Where are they? Is anyone questioning anything? Wake up. It's okay, you've been asleep, you're scared, I'm scared too.
I mean, again, these guys are so fucking bad. I mean, at everything that they do, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I mean, where there is a risk, there should be a choice. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to read these signs. My body, my choice. These signs are so horrible. I mean, I'm glad that the footage here is taken in, like, the worst possible quality, so I can't read any of it, but again, I mean, it's all falling apart. I mean, if you would have asked me last year, right, 2020, they had the anti-mask protests and everything, and the lockdown I thought that was stupid. And I knew about anti-vaxxers. I knew that that was a strain. I knew that that was a strain in the world, that people were against vaccines and medicine. I knew that that existed. But if you would have asked me last year, you're going to see we're like 8 months after the vaccine and people are still denying that COVID is real. I mean, there's no way. I would have said there's probably going to be like 1 million people dead by then. There's no way. Here we are. The official death count is like 750,000. We know that that's undercounted. And people are still saying that there is no pandemic. It's all falling apart. I don't know what to say. There's so much happening. Oh my god. Onion on the story about dozens of cops being exposed as Oath Keeper terrorists. I'm gonna go into that one probably tomorrow. But yeah, it's a classic. Classic cops. Classic cops, folks. Alright, let's look at more anti-vaxxer stupid shit. So, does anyone here like potatoes? Well, I do, so let's talk about Idaho. Idaho's governor and lieutenant governor duel over vaccine mandates. No, they're not having guns, Andrew Jackson style, unfortunately. I would love to see it. But Lieutenant Governor Janice McGill of Idaho took advantage of an out-of-state trip by Gov. Brad Little on Tuesday to issue an executive order forbidding educational institutions to require proof of vaccination from employees. She said on Twitter that in her pursuit of individual liberty, she had fixed an order the governor had issued earlier. So let me get this straight. The governor goes on a 2-day trip. And while that is happening, the lieutenant governor has executive power. And then she goes full anti-vax crazy. Governor Little's order made in the spring prohibits state agencies from requiring or issuing proof of COVID vaccinations, but does not specifically name universities and public K-12 schools. When he returned Wednesday from a trip to Texas, he promptly repealed Ms. McGuff's order, writing that he had notified her that no official business would require her services in an acting governor capacity during his absence. The lieutenant governor, who is elected independently of the governor, is challenging Mr. Little for the position, and the two have feuded throughout their tenure. Ms. McGuff has consistently criticized Mr. Little's measures to contain the virus, casting his restrictions as government overreach, and this week was not their first round of political one-upping. In May, when Mr. Little was away at the Republican Governors Association conference, Ms. McGuff issued a ban on mask mandates, which he then repealed. Idaho did not have a statewide mask mandate, but an executive order required masks at long-term care facilities and said they were strongly recommended elsewhere. Nor did Mr. Little prevent municipalities from issuing their own directives on masks. On Tuesday, Ms. McGuff also asked about mobilizing the Idaho National Guard and sending troops to the Mexican border. Folks, I'm going to bring up a map here. I'm going to bring up a map of the United States. And I want to look at Idaho on this map. And I want us all to look at Idaho. And I want us all to see where Idaho is in relation to the Mexican border. Okay, so let me read this again. On Tuesday, Ms. McGuff also asked about mobilizing the Idaho National Guard and sending troops to the Mexican border. Now, on this map, I would like everyone to find Mexico. Right, Mexico is down here. Now, on this map, can anyone point out Idaho? That's right. Idaho is above Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. It is several states away. In fact, Idaho connects with the Canadian border. Idaho connects with the border on the opposite side of the country. I need y'all to understand. This stupid bitch, Miss wanted to send troops to the border. I am speechless. I am without speech. Mr. Little replied on Facebook that attempting to deploy our National Guard for political grandstanding is an affront to the Idaho Constitution. In the past, he has described Ms. McGuff's activity in his absence as irresponsible and self-serving. Asked about the battles, Jacqueline J. Kettler, a political scientist at Boise State University, noted that although both Mr. Little and Ms. McGuff are Republicans, the lieutenant governor is further to the right politically, and that there is tension between the two, particularly regarding coronavirus rules and restrictions. While Ms. McGuff base might be cheering her on for defying Mr. Little, Professor Kettler said there are many Idahoans that are perhaps baffled or frustrated with these types of developments. The COVID situation here is not great, she said. About 42% of eligible people in Idaho are vaccinated. My God. My God. What is going on? Again, just real quick. Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, then Mexico. Gonna send troops to the border. I don't even want to see the world anymore. 42%, folks. Bringing it home. Speaking of home and homes and the pandemic, more than 120,000 United States kids had caregivers die during the pandemic. I want you to read this headline. I want you to wrap your mind around this, and I want you to really think about what the implications are of this. The number of U.S. children orphaned during the COVID-19 pandemic may be larger than previously estimated, and the toll has been far greater among Black and Hispanic Americans, a new study suggests. More than half the children who lost a primary caregiver during the pandemic belong to those two racial groups, which make up about 40% of the U.S. population. According to the study published Thursday by the medical journal Pediatrics. These findings really highlight those children who have been left most vulnerable by the pandemic and where additional resources should be directed. By the way, schools are open, folks. Thank you, President Biden, for opening the schools so our kids can go learn, catch a virus, go home, get their parents killed, and then go to an orphanage where their lives will be destroyed. Thank you, President Joe Biden. Thank you for your bold leadership. How many kids can we orphan? Trump is getting trumped by Biden on this one. Let's see. How many parents can we kill? My guess is 75,000. Can we get 75? Can we get 80,000? 80,000 orphans. Can we get 90,000? Can we get 100,000? Joe Biden, where are you? What's going on here? Does anyone know? During 15 months of the nearly 19-month COVID-19 pandemic, more than 120,000 U.S. children lost a parent or grandparent who was a primary provider of financial support and care. The study found another 22,000 children experienced the death of a secondary caregiver. So your mom dies. Your mom is dead because of Donald Trump and Joe Biden's horrible handling of this pandemic. Your mom is dead. And so you live with your grandma. And your grandma dies from the same policies that dumb fuck motherfucker Donald Trump and shit for brains asshole Joe Biden did not do anything about. The pandemic is killing people's fucking parents and then their grandparents and then they go to orphanages. Meanwhile, where's Joe Biden? Is he shutting down schools? Where's the national lockdown? What the fuck is going on? Why are schools open? What the fuck are we doing as a society? If we would have had a 2-month lockdown in March of 2020, none of this would have happened. I thought, oh, Joe Biden's going to win. Maybe we'll have that 2-month lockdown. Maybe we'll get everything together. Nope. 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 Nuh-uh. Nope. This country is falling apart. It's over. The American experiment is over. Again, I want you to know, if you are under the age of, like, let's say 60, chances are, assuming this pandemic doesn't kill you, you are going to outlive the United States of America. I spent the first hour of today's show talking about how cops can get away with killing people in any context. You can shoot at people from an unmarked van, got away with it. You can kill people, lie about why you killed them, get away with it. You can shoot a motherfucker in the back of the head and shoot into a neighbor's house, get away, in a school zone, get away with it. How many times do I need to cover cop stories of them killing innocent people and getting away with it? How many times? How many times do I have to do this? How many times do I have to show videos of cops openly fist bumping each other? Oh, you shot that motherfucker with a goddamn tear gas grenade. Good shot, fist bump. How many times do I have to show you these videos? Right, so while that's happening, we have a pandemic going on where both presidents that have been in charge so far somehow don't know what to do. What? Reminder of Biden's vaccine mandate, remember that? Yeah, get vaccinated or don't. One hell of a mandate. Where's the school lockdown? Yeah, we're going to mandate that you either get vaccinated or you just don't. Yeah, it's a binary mandate. You get vaxxed or you don't. Meanwhile, schools are open. Everyone go to school. What the fuck? What is going on? What is going on? Like, what the fuck? Again, read this headline. How is this not on every national news station? How is this not on the radios? How are people not being taught this in school? 120,000 children are in orphanages because of this fucking goddamn pandemic, of a preventable pandemic. All we needed was a multi-month lockdown. Everything would have been fine. But the cult of capitalism said, nah, we're going to sacrifice 1 million Americans to the volcanoes of capital. We're going to sacrifice the childhoods of 100,000 kids to the gods of capital. Jeff Bezos wants more money. Elon Musk wants more money. How are they going to get more money unless we kill 1 million innocent civilians? Donald Trump wants some cash. Joe Biden's asleep at the wheel. Congress doesn't give a fuck. Congress approved a $1 billion bill for the Iron Dome in Israel. There was extra, unnecessary funding. They approved that in 3 days. From the legislation being drafted to it getting voted on in 3 days. $1 billion down the drain? Are they going to spend $1 billion on American civilians to stop the executions from this pandemic? Are they going to spend $1 billion on maybe stopping police killings? No, Joe Biden gave police 3 times the amount of money that they had previously. What else do you need to know? This country doesn't give a fuck about you. You're on your own. You don't have a constitutional right to anything. First Amendment? What? Second Amendment? What? Third Amendment? What? Fourth Amendment? What? All these amendments are thrown out the fucking window as soon as the government wants to. First Amendment, right to a peaceful assembly, gone. 2020 proved that. Second Amendment, right to bear arms, right? And organize in a militia. Well, we saw in California, when the Black Panthers tried that, they restricted guns. Now, am I saying I'm in favor of guns? No, I'm just saying you don't have a constitutional right to have anything. You have nothing. There is no constitutional right. As soon as black people say, hey, let's get some guns, government cracks down. Third Amendment. Yeah, you might be thinking, Third Amendment. What's that one again? Right. The one where soldiers aren't allowed to quarter themselves. Well, guess what? We saw in Elizabeth City, soldiers were occupying college dorms, and kids could not go to college. But the college owns the dorms. Oh, right, okay, sure. Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizure. Have you ever heard of civil asset forfeiture? Look it up. Gone. Fifth Amendment, the right to a speedy trial. What? What? If you're shot in the back of the head while running away from the Ku Klux Klan, there's no speedy trial for you. Gone. How many more do I need to go into? You have no rights. You have no rights. There is no Constitution. It's fake. It's made up. They lie to you about it in school. They want you to think you have rights so that you don't complain. Because whenever they want to, the government can kill you. That's capitalism. They are killing you for money. They work you to death for fucking money. From when you were born, you go to school for goddamn 12, 13, 15, 18, however many years you go to school. What do you learn in school? Not how to be a critical thinker. Not how to think for yourself. Not how to enjoy life. Not how to just have a happy life living as a human being with this beautiful consciousness that we are given, a gift from whatever it is. I don't know where it came from, but we have this beautiful network of neurons in our brains that allow us to be anything we want, and it allows us pleasure, beautiful happiness. We can just be happy. But no, you are taught, indoctrinated how to be a good little worker drone. You are taught from a kid, an impressionable young age, that you have a constitutional right to free protest. You are taught to be a good little worker. You are taught the basic skills for work. You're not taught how to think for yourself. Art is never funded. I remember when I went to elementary school, I'm 25. When I went to elementary school, we had one art teacher. And over the course of me being in that elementary school, the art funding went down and down and down. I remember in first grade, we had all these paints and coloring kits and all that. And by the time I was in 5th grade, they couldn't afford it anymore. All we had were pencils, colored pencils. No more paint. They don't care about art. They don't care about teaching kids creativity. They don't care about any of that fucking shit. All they do is care about making you a good little worker drone. They'll kill your parents. They'll kill your grandparents. They'll kill your brothers. They'll kill your sisters. If it's not from a preventable pandemic, it's from police brutality. If it's not from police brutality, it's from preventable illness, right? Because you have to pay to go to the doctor. So if you have a cold and you think, I hope it'll pass, guess what? You're dead because it wasn't a cold. It was a viral infection. You're dead now because you didn't want to spend $50 or $100 going to the doctor. You are useless to the United States government. I don't know what other headline I need to show you that proves that you mean nothing. The government views you as a product. You are nothing. You are shit on the government's shoes. And you need to fucking learn more. You need to wake the fuck up, man. Holy shit. Holy shit, folks. You got nothing. There is nothing for you. And I hate to go on this... I hate to turn every episode into a doomer episode, but I'm dooming. I'm in a doom spiral. It's all falling apart here. Oh no. Oh, Andrew Yang. I actually had something lined up with Andrew Yang, so I'm going to go into that. Let's get some lightheartedness. I'm going to end the show on a good note. Alright, folks. So Andrew Yang started the Forward Party. I made a video about this yesterday. Go check it out. So Andrew Yang starts the Forward Party, and who is the first person he's going to go, first news show he's going to go on to announce the Forward Party? To try to poach some voters? That's right, folks. Check it out.
The must-see interview as he breaks away from the Democratic Party.
Right now, this duopoly is not working for any of us.
There are so many barriers to starting a viable third party. It hasn't been done. Why can you do it?
Don't miss Tucker Carlson today, streaming Wednesday, only on Fox Nation. Tucker Carlson, Andrew Yang, the must-see interview as he breaks away from the Democratic Party.
Right now, this duopoly is not working for any of us.
There are so many barriers to...
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Folks, like, what is going on here? What is going on here with Andrew Yang? Seriously? Seriously? What is this? Oh, I know. I'm going to start a new party. And I'm going to go on a white supremacist's TV show who frequently advocates for Nazi policy, who frequently denies that there's a pandemic going on, who frequently advocates for the genocide of minorities. I'm going to go on their show to try to get people in my party. I want to have Nazis in my party because we're the Forward Party. We're not left, we're not right, we're forward. So let's get some Nazis in here and let's get our party started. What the fuck? I mean, again, like, if anyone takes this seriously, when I made my video yesterday on Andrew Yang's Forward Party, I got some dumb motherfuckers that are like, oh, how dare you say the Forward Party is just a grift to get Republicans who are far right and want to kill transgender people, gay people, and immigrants. How dare you make that assumption? The very next day, oh, we're going on Tucker Carlson's show. Yeah! No more commentary required, folks. Hello, random things. Speaking of random things, Let's end our show on a high note, folks. That's right. Jimmy motherfucking dumbfuck Dore. Jimothy Dumbo is at it again, folks. So Jimmy Dore, known non-sellout. Yeah, sure. Jimmy Dore only makes videos about how the vaccine is bad for money. He never talks about legislation, right? Like the reconciliation bill. He doesn't care. He constantly shits on left-wingers in Congress. He constantly shits on activists. He's going to tell you who the real left is. Now, again, I want you to understand, right? The force the vote conspiracy is right up there with QAnon. And I know a lot of people, especially if you believe in the conspiracy network of force the vote, I know you're going to get really pissed off. You're already leaving your comment, oh, you sellout neoliberal, you red lib feminist sellout. I already know you're already typing your comment. You probably paused the video, so you're not even listening to me mock you. So just hear me the fuck out. If you're still here, hear me out. So, right, there's an obsession here with this narrative, an ongoing storyline that was started in December of 2020. Jimmy Dore hatched a plot. I'm going to find a niche. I'm going to find a way to make a lot of money. And in the effort of making a lot of money, I am going to train my audience of over 1 million people. My audience is going to be trained to be nihilists. People think, oh, I believe that humans should have a right to have health care. That they think that is equivalent to being a revolutionary. They genuinely do. They literally think, oh, I think that climate change is real. That you're revolutionary now. You're going to overthrow the world and institute communism in 20 days. Because you posted hashtag Medicare for All on Twitter. So again, I need you to understand. The Force the Vote conspiracy network started with Force the Vote. The idea that they were going to get Medicare for All passed by forcing a vote, or Medicare for All was going to fail, and then people would see how bad Congress is. Congress has a 20% approval rating. 1 in 5 Americans likes Congress. People already know Congress sucks. So, all right, Force the Vote's idea was to maybe make that 20%, 19%, 16%. What was the goal? The goal of Force the Vote was to get a hashtag campaign to promote his podcast. The next hashtag campaign was the March for Medicare for All. Does Jimmy Dore have activists on his show that protest against things like police brutality? No, because he likes police brutality. The guy's a loser. Does Jimmy Dore have any activist on his show who participates in the Sunrise Movement? No, of course not. Instead, he's doing anti-vaxxer videos. But I want you to listen to this video with what you know about the Force the Vote conspiracy. Now imagine you're a Jimmy Dore fan and you listen to this. Imagine if you're like, let's say you're somewhat politically left-leaning, right? And you like the idea of Medicare for All, but you don't really watch the podcast, you don't really know what this is about, and you come across this video, you might get wrapped up in the conspiracy. Reminder, like, let's look at the comparisons here with QAnon. QAnon, all right, Democrats are bad. You're right, Democrats are bad, but they're sacrificing children to pedophile cults? I mean, it's possible maybe one Democrat has done that, maybe. But to say that the entire Democratic Party is secretly a pedophile worshiping Satan cult, probably not true, okay? But again, they really believe that, and it starts with that kernel, that nugget of, like, Democrats are bad. And so that's the same starting point that Jimmy Dore has, and he leads it down a different direction. And I want you to watch this. This is a masterclass of creating a narrative that is completely divorced from reality, right? But then it allows people to look at the world through a lens of Force the Vote. And then they will find anything that supports that, because it's so vague, it's so abstract, that anything you read can wrap yourself into this conspiracy.
I wish I had better advice, but I know that when I started Force the Vote, I was shocked at how easy the people who consider themselves left rolled over for the establishment and ran interference for it.
So again, just acknowledging the reality that Medicare for all would not pass. That is, quote, rolling over for the establishment. Yeah, if you force the vote, it would fail. Acknowledging the reality that Congress does not like the idea of universal health care because they are all sold out and corrupt. That is true. But acknowledging that reality somehow means you are against the left.
So there's something that the entire left had agreed on, forcing a vote on Medicare for all on the House floor.
The entire left never agreed on forcing a vote for Medicare for all on the House floor. The entire left agrees with universal health care. Most of the left agrees with the Medicare for all bill. I would prefer a more quick approach, but I will take 4-year transition time. I'd prefer an instant transition, as close to instant as possible, 6 months to a year. I would prefer that, but I would support Medicare for all, as Bernie wrote for his 2020 presidential campaign. I would support that. Now, conveniently, Jimmy Dore did not support Bernie Sanders in 2020. The closest opportunity we had to actually getting Medicare for all, Jimmy wasn't on board. He supported Tulsi Gabbard, right? But again, all right. But again, notice how he creeps it in. The entire left supports forcing a vote. When? When did you get that information?
Goal always since 1992, and when we actually had a chance to get it,
here's the other thing: we actually had a chance to get it. He wants you to think that they had a chance to force a vote, and that vote would have maybe gotten Medicare for all. That's what he wants you to think. So, but now again, this is in the deep lore now. This was 10, 11 months ago now. So most people forget because Americans are fucking stupid. They forget things at the snap of a fingers because they're all fucking stupid. So they don't remember December of 2020. They don't remember January of 2021. So if Jimmy Dore convinces them, now again, remember, witness testimony is horrible, right? The human memory, right? There is no memory. There is no past. There is no future. There is only the present. Now, again, I'm getting a little philosophical here, so bear with me, right? Stay with me, okay? You do not remember the past as it was. Your brain has memories inside of them that usually are your interpretation of events, right? But over time, those memories can change because your brain is not perfect. Your brain cannot it's not a camera. It's not a video recorder, right? It's not an audio recorder. It does not actually record things as they are and store them like data. That is not how your brain works. So your brain slightly changes details. Oh, that person was wearing a red shirt on that day. They were actually wearing a blue shirt, but your brain, right? When you think about it, when you close your eyes and you picture it, you see them wearing a red shirt because that's what your brain thinks, and therefore you see it and you think it's real. There is no actual past, right? As far as your brain is concerned. We are just living in a way that our brain interprets reality, and our brain can be wrong, right? And so Jimmy and other conspiracy theorist grifters take advantage of that. They take advantage of that, and they install these fake memories in people's brains. Like, yes, we could have gotten Medicare for all. We could have forced a vote. It could have happened, right? And if you do not inoculate yourself against these conspiracies, if you do not read the news every day, if you do not try to write things down every day, if you do not try to work on your own memory, you are susceptible to these conspiracy theories. Right? Let's say you barely paid attention to politics. Let's say you were off doing maybe whatever, right? And you don't really know all the details. Your memory's kind of hazy. It's kind of foggy. Oh yeah, I guess they had a chance. Right? And then he keeps saying it over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, that guy that was wearing a blue shirt was wearing a red shirt. Might as well be wearing a green shirt. It doesn't matter. Because your memory starts to think, your brain starts to think that that's really how the world was. And you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction. Now again, I'm getting into a little bit philosophical, getting into the neurosciences a little bit, so bear with me, but let's get to the rest.
Everybody on the left rolled over, and they're not the left. I'm talking about people like the Young Turks, people with MSNBC contracts.
Now, again, Jimmy Dore is afraid to say Sam Cedar's name, so he says people with MSNBC contracts, which is really funny. But again, what Jimmy is trying to get you to do, his goal is to make money. He's a sellout loser. He's a narcissistic sellout loser. So what he's trying to do is make you think everyone who disagrees with him slightly is not a real leftist, whatever that means, and that you should only subscribe to his YouTube show. Right? Now, I want you to think about this, right? Let's say, how many viewers do I have on my live stream right now? 40, okay. Let's say my 40 viewers on my live stream right now are all subscribed to 20 different channels. So every morning, let's say 10 of those channels are streaming, and they have to make a decision. Do I want to watch Andrea? Do I want to watch Ralph? Do I want to watch, fucking, I don't know, whatever. Right, now let's say I make it every single one of my shows. I'm like, these people are sellouts. They're anti-left. They're fake. They're fake. They're fake. They're fake. They're fake. And let's say your 20 subscriptions goes down to 7. Let's say the active streamers in the morning go from 10 to 3. You have a higher percentage chance of watching my show than you did previously. That means you have a higher percentage chance of giving me money. Let's say you equally distribute, like let's say you have $100 in your budget for giving YouTubers money that you like online, right? Let's say you spread that across 8 different YouTubers. Now, all of a sudden, instead of spreading it across 8, you're spreading it across 3. And those 3 are going to be people that agree with me. And so you're only going to get one kind of news feed. You're going to enter a filter bubble. That's what's happening there. That's what Jimmy Dore is doing. He is trying to prey upon those who want good things like Medicare for All. He's trying to prey on those people to get money out of them and to spin them down a conspiracy network where Jimmy Dore is the only truth teller.
The people at The Intercept, like Ryan Grimm. You saw David Sirota talk out of both sides of his mouth on my show. You saw people run interference for the establishment around Medicare for All, which was, and so I
ran interference, saying that we cannot get Medicare for All as Congress is currently constituted is, quote, running interference. Well, actually, what that is, hey, we should actually get a Congress that wants Medicare for All, and then we can get it. That's not what Jimmy wants. Jimmy's part of the People's Party. He doesn't want to primary these corporate Democrats. He doesn't want to get Republicans kicked out of their seats and get Democrats in there and then further pull the country left. He doesn't. Because then he can't fundraise off of the idea that Congress is corrupt. Right? The idea that we cannot get Medicare for All right now because Congress is corrupt, the focus should be on de-corrupting Congress. If it's possible, we should try to do that. And if it's not possible, what's the alternative? Well, we're going to get the alternative from Jimmy Dore. Because, again, Jimmy, when you make these conspiracy networks, you need to have the small branching pathways. All right, so you can't, electoralism is dead. So what do? The March for Medicare for All. Reminder, the March for Medicare for All in Los Angeles banned a member from the committee for asking a speaker to show proof of vaccination or take a COVID test. And they got banned. And the speakers that were at the Los Angeles rally, some of them were anti-vaccine, some of them were against Medicare for All. Fiorella Isabel, if you go to her Twitter page and search Medicare for All, you will see she is against it 1 minute and in favor of it the next. She advocates against Medicare for All more frequently than she advocates in favor, but she was a speaker at the so-called March for Medicare for All. So listen to this.
I don't know what to tell people. That really then we do a Medicare for All march in 50 different cities, and the same thing. Nobody covers it. Half the left denigrates it, which tells you they're not really the left. So it shows you how slim the left is. You know who the real left is in America? The people who are out there at
the point of this, it really boils down to, like, what this whole conspiracy theory is predicated on the idea that people want to feel like they know the one truth. They know the truth. Jimmy Dore speaks the truth. It's like the indie band theory. Oh, my favorite band. They're so underground. You've never heard of them. They're underground. They're my favorite band. And then, let's say they have an album and it sells a lot of copies. They go hot, 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 and then they become rock stars. All right. Well, but I knew them when they were cool, but now they're sellouts, man. I loved their first 2 albums, bro, but then they sold out, man. That's this. But politically, anyone who has any strategy that wants to get more popular support, nope, you're a sellout. You want to bring more people to the left? Sellout. You want to pull Congress to the left? Sellout. These people are happy being unpopular, but thinking that they're truth tellers. To them, that's their preference. They want to eternally lose all the time, but as long as they know the one truth, that it's okay.
Those 50 city Medicare for All marches. That's who the left is. That's what we're left with. And they try to denigrate it, call it a red-brown alliance. You know, that's how you get things done. When you get libertarians, right-wingers, and left-wingers marching together, that's when you scare the shit out of them. And
the libertarian he's referring to is Magnus Panvidya, someone he interviewed on his show in January, who said explicitly that he is against Medicare for All. Someone who said he was against Medicare for All is marching at a March for Medicare for All as a way to bring people to the right against Medicare for All. Why are you enabling that? When Tulsi Gabbard was on Jimmy Dore's show in 2019, I believe, maybe it was early 2020, she said she is against Medicare for All. And Jimmy Dore was like, okay, your system might be better than Medicare for All. The guy is faking you out. And you are buying it because you are easily manipulated and you're dumb. But at the end of the day, I get it. You want the world to be a better place. Anyone who is telling you that there is a simple solution to solving all the world's problems is lying to you. Forcing the vote doesn't give us Medicare for All. Marching one time in the street in 50 cities doesn't get us Medicare for All. What we need to do is a continued, strong push of pulling people to the left over a long period of time. Yes, we should be bringing right-wingers to the left, but that does not mean having right-wingers march with us and then say, all right, you're fine to believe, we disagree on everything. What you should do is the Fred Hampton style. Say, hey, we have common interests here. You should stop being a dumb fuck racist. You should stop being a dumb fuck misogynist. You should stop hating immigrants, stop hating poor people, stop hating trans and gay people. And maybe we should all work together against the corporate elite. You don't just say, all right, it's great that you hate black people, march with me. That's not how you win anything. What we need to do is a sustained effort of waking people up. You can't just force the vote and then pull the book out of the bookshelf and the bookshelf opens up and you march into the secret chamber in Commerce and then you get the super glove and then you point it at the sky and then like a lightning bolt comes out and then God comes down from the clouds and says, now everyone will have universal healthcare coverage. That's not how the world works. You don't march one time with a libertarian boogaloo boy extremist and then go like, all right, we got Medicare for all now. No. That's not how it works. You're being lied to. Anyone that tells you that there's a simple solution in saving the world is a liar. I tell you all the time on my show, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I tell you all the time. People ask me, do you have any solutions? And I say, if I have a possible solution in my brain, I will tell you that this is my best guess. I will tell you that I'm not sure if this is the only way. I will tell you that this is the best idea I can come up with at the time. But I'm never going to tell you that there's one true solution to anything. Because then I would be a liar. That being said, the only true solution to all of this is giving me money on Patreon. That's right, folks. Go give me money now. I'm only making $400 a month. I can do better than that. Hit me up, folks. Let's get it. Alright, so that's my show for today. Hopefully y'all are liking the 2-hour shows. Again, during the week, I when I was doing that whole thing with the I had spit fly onto my glasses, so please, I need to. But anyway, during the week I'm trying to do longer shows. tonight on the Spook 5 Kilar, I'm going to be drinking again. I am on the 4th day of my bender. I'm going to be consuming alcoholic beverages and certain totally legal herbal remedies and substances. And I'm going to be playing through the entirety of Resident Evil 4. And I'm also going to watch all the cutscenes because I love that game and I don't watch them often. So if you like Resident Evil 4, tune in to the Spook 5 Kilar. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So 7 hours and 4 minutes from right now. If you're watching the live stream, 7 hours, 4 minutes right now. Did I drink the sake? Yes, I drank half the bottle, and I decided, do I want to get blackout wasted tonight, or do I want to have a 4th day of my bender? So I'm going to have the 4th day of my bender tonight. And so, we're going to town, folks. Reminder, I used to be the world record holder for Resident Evil 4. I used to be the fastest player in the history of the world. And then I got destroyed, and all of my runs suck now, and I'm a fucking loser. But, hey, I like the game. Anyway, I really have to pee, so thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'm sorry for not interacting with the chat as much as I normally do. Sometimes I really just go off the handle sometimes. But 7 hours and 2 minutes from now, I will be streaming. I will post the stream page probably in the next couple hours. And thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. And bye-bye.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And by the way, you know, and I sit on the stand. And back in those days, to get hot, I got hairy legs. One of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. Blonde. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, he used to come up and reach in the pool off the board. I'll come up and drag you off. So it was trading. Well, he came off the hair, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, this is mostly, so I learned about roaches. Public housing behind it. Jumping on my lap. My car, there was a gate on here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight races. And to get hot, I got a lot of hairy legs. There's a guy named Bill Wright, the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic in the sun. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where it was traded, and then watch the hair. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across. So I learned about roaches. He cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. Get hot, I got a lot of I said, you're kidding me. He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain in the sun. And I walked up to my car, reach in the pool, and they had, those days used to remember the straight racers, bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in the rain barrel, get them rusty. Look at it. So I learned about roaches, I learned about kids, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you, Esther Williams. I apologize. I got hairy legs. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, you apologize to me? I said, I apologize, not for throwing you out. The kids used to come up and apologize for what I said. And rub my leg down. He said, okay, close your straight razor, and my heart began to beat again. Come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I'd love kids jumping on my lap.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream,